Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to be making a new video here today for everyone that's new to the Academy. We're going to go over a few things. We're going to set up a demo account on MetaTrader 4. We're going to learn about basic entering and exiting of trades. We're going to learn how to modify those trades. And I'm going to teach you how to add currencies onto MetaTrader 4. And I'm just going to go over how to just do the basic things with MetaTrader 4, and just so everyone is familiar with how to use it, how to make trades, how to copy trades from Telegram to MetaTrader 4, just so everyone is familiar with how to process these things. I know it can be a little difficult sometimes when you're brand new, but hopefully with this video I can clear those complications up. So first off, when you get into your MetaTrader 4, you're going to see up here we have a little plus button here. So we're going to click on there, and that's going to take us to open a demo account. So we're going to click right here, open demo account. And for this demo, we're going to use FX choice. And so you just put in FX choice, and you can either choose the classic demo or the pro demo. Pro demo is if you've made an account with FX Pro. The classic is just free. So we're gonna go with the classic one, and we're just gonna make sure that the currency is USD. You can either choose USD or Euro. I choose USD. Leverage, that's up to you. If you don't know anything about leverage, be sure to check that up on Google or YouTube. It's important. So, but I'm going to keep mine at 1 to 200, and you can choose your deposit amount. Again, this is a demo account. I would recommend trying using the amount that you are going to sign up with. But if you can't do that, I know the smallest amount is 3,000, but if that is too much, then I would just go for 3,000 anyways. It's a good way to get used to trading with a semi-small account. Be sure to use small lot sizes, which I'll show you how to do in the next couple of minutes. So we're just going to choose 3,000 for now, and then we can create an account. Okay, so as you can see right here, it has your name, your account type, how much money is in there. Obviously, it's a demo account, so it's not real money. And as you can see, your password and login. I'm going to delete this account after, just so no one has access to it. But this is what it looks like, right? Okay, so we're going to press done here. And as you can see right here, we have a few currencies. Right, we got Euro USD, GBP USD, USD CHF, right? So these are your currency pairs. If you want to add a currency pair, you're going to see this little plus button up here at the top, right? So we're going to click on that, and you're going to see Forex Majors, Forex, FX Group, Spot Metals. So I'll go over these with you right now. So in our Forex Majors, we got some of the major pairs that I guess for FX choice, these are their major pairs. So you got the Canadian Japanese yen, the Swiss franc Japanese yen, the Great Britain pound with the Canadian dollar, and the US dollar Canadian dollar. Okay, and if you wanted to choose one, for instance, you can click on, we'll just use USD CAD. You can click on it, and then when you go back once more. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can see that USD CAD is right there. Okay, and so if we go back and we click on Forex, the one under from Forex Majors, you're going to see a bunch of other pairs. Again, it's up to you which pair you want to use. If you are a beginner, I would highly recommend that you choose just a few pairs. Maybe if you're really new, I would just choose one pair. Make sure you know how this pair works. It's like knowing something inside and out. So when you know this pair, you know how it moves. Yeah, you can spot patterns a little bit easier. So, but if you are a kind of person that wants to jump in and look at all the pairs, that's probably not the greatest thing to do because there's going to be a lot happening. Best just to choose a couple pairs when you first start out so that you're familiar with that pair, how it works, how it moves, and from there you can move on to more. Okay, so as you can see, these are all the pairs on the Forex. If we go back and we go to the FX group, it looks like these are the exotic pairs. So we can see the euro and the Norwegian krone. We can see the euro and the Turkish lira, the Mexican peso versus the US dollar, the US dollar versus the Singapore dollar. So these are all the exotic ones. Again, these are a little bit more complicated. They move around a little bit more. So I would stay away from these ones unless you know what you're doing. Again, if you're a new trader, I would just stick with the Forex and Forex majors. We'll just go over the other ones just so you guys know what they are. We got the spot metals. So we got gold and silver. Again, I would be very careful trading with these ones unless you know what you're doing. They're very volatile, and it's easy for your account to just be gone if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so just be careful with that. We got our energies. So we got crude oil, and we got West Texas Intermediate crude oil. If we go back, we got indices. So we got the Dow Jones. Again, that's like the black diamond of trading. If you're going down a ski hill, if you're a beginner, you want to go down the little moguls, right? Well, the Dow Jones or the US 30 is like the black diamond. So stay away from that one. Again, you got the NASDAQ 100 index. Again, that's, close to a black diamond, but again, just be careful with that one. S&P 500 is a little bit more, it's not as crazy or beast mode. So you'd probably do the US 500 if you want, or the S&P 500. But again, just be careful. Make sure you know how much you're going to be trading with. If you have less than $1,000 or less than $500, I would just be very careful trading with these pairs. Okay. I would just stick to the Forex pairs. If you use a small lot size, you should be safe there. Okay. So we're just going to move on to how these currency pairs work, how to make a trade, and we're going to go through that now. Okay, so first off, we're just going to choose a random pair. I guess we'll go with GBP, JPY if we can find it, or we can just go with GBP USD. So we're going to click on it right there, and you can see that small little window pops up, and you're going to see new order, open chart, simple properties, and simple view mode. I would stay away from simple view mode. If you're a beginner, it's just better to keep it on the advanced one. And we'll go over those as well. Symbol properties. You're just going to see a little bit more about the pair. And so if you click on open chart, it takes you to the chart. And you can see how the chart works right here. You can zoom out, you can zoom in. If you click on the graph, it pulls up a bunch of different times, okay? And we'll go through those in a couple minutes, but let's go over how to set up your candles. Some people like to make their candles different colors. There's red and blue. It's up to you. Choose colors that choose colors that'll be easy for you to recognize. So for me, if it's a bullish, so if it's going up, I have just the clear candles, and then if it's coming down, I got the white candles. Okay, but this is how you change the color for your candles. We go into here, up at the top, you see these 3 lines. We'll click on it, and we're just going to go down to settings. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you go to you want your candles to be candlesticks. As you can see line chart and bar chart. Just stick to candlestick pattern. That's probably the easiest. And when you get further into the academy, you'll be able to read how candlesticks work. So I would just stick with candlestick. Okay. So once that's done, we can go down to colors and customize scheme. Okay, so we're going to click on that right there. And okay, so if you want to take a screenshot of this right now and you want to have your charts the way mine are, it's very simple. It's easy to read, and it's easy to read the chart. So you can take a screenshot there if you'd like. And I guess we'll just go through all these together. I know this video may be a little drawn out, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows how to use MetaTrader 4, how to change the colors on things. If you already know how to do this, you can jump forward a little bit when we get to the next topic. But I'm just going to go through this, so if anyone is not familiar with how to use MetaTrader 4 and how to set this up, we can go through that together, okay? So you can choose your background. It can be either black or white. I like to use black because it's a little easier on the eyes. You can use white, though. It's up to you. Again, they have a default setup here where you can either choose green or black, black or white, and the custom one is the one that you can choose. Again, if you're a beginner, I would just choose the default ones. You can fiddle around with the colors, when you're a little bit more used to how to use MetaTrader 4. But I would just stick with the green or black, black and white. As you guys know, mine are green and black. But if you were to click black and white, and you press done, and we go back to our graph here, it's white. Okay, and you can see that the candles that are going down, which is bearish, those are black. And the candles that are going up, which are bullish, those are white candles. Okay, but if we go back here and we go back to settings and we go to colors again and we change it to green and black, which is what I had it before, you can press done and we can go back to the graph. And as you can see right here, it turned it right back to where I was before. Okay, so if you want to change it into colors, you can leave a comment below and I can help you get that set up. But if you're a beginner, I think that's just something that you should just not worry about, right? That, these are just small little things that once you get used to trading, if you want to change it to the colors that you want it to be, you can do that. But if you're a beginner trader, I would just leave it at default. You don't want to overstimulate all these things that you're learning. And as something as simple as just what the colors of the candles are, I just don't think it's an important thing that you guys should be worrying about right off the bat if you're new to trading. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that for the colors of the candles, and we're going to move on to the next topic now. Okay, so for the next part, we're just going to go over a little bit about the candles and the time frames, that you can use to look at. So as you can see right now on my chart, you can see all these candles, and each candle is 1 minute long. Okay, and so if you look up here in the corner where it says GDP USD, right beside it you can see 1 minute. Okay, and so each candle is 1 minute. As you can see right there, it just ticked over and another candle just popped up. Okay, so every minute a new candle is going to come up. But if you were to click on the screen now, if you just touch on the screen right where the graph is, you're going to see a little circular bubble that kind of comes up, and it has different time frames. Okay, so we got the 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, and the monthly. Okay, so if I were to click on the 5-minute, it then changes the candles. So before, as you saw them, each candle was 1 minute. Now, when I clicked on the 5-minute, each candle is now 5 minutes. Okay, and if we click on it again, you can zoom out. We can go to the hour, and every time that you go further on a longer time frame, you have a better idea of where the market is going. Okay. um, Traders that trade on a higher time frame, they have a better idea of what the market is doing. Now, that's not to say that if you were trading on the smaller time frames like the 5-minute and the 1 minute, you could trade on those as well, but the market moves really quickly. And so if I were to refer it to again like a ski mountain, if you were trading on the 1 minute and the 5-minute, that's like the really hard route to take when you're going down the mountain. Okay, like you have to know what you're looking for. You have to know well the route, and it's just a little bit more difficult. Whereas if you go higher in the time frame, like the daily or the 1 hour, sorry, as you can see, there's some things I got marked up here, but see if I can get rid of them here for everybody. Okay, there we go. The smaller time frame you got, the more difficult it is. The higher time frame, the easier it'll be. Okay, so for beginner traders, I would recommend trading on the higher time frames. It moves slower, and as you go through the academy and you learn about candlesticks and the trend and support and resistance, it'll be easier for you to make decisions because the market isn't moving as quick as if you were on the lower time frames. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next thing that we're going to look over, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so for the next part, we're just going to go over how to uh, make a trade and how to edit a trade and just all that fun stuff on how to jump into trading. So first, before we do that, I just want to go over these bottom lines here and what they represent. There's only a few that are really important, so just pay attention to this. So the very first one that we're on right now with the arrows, these are what your currency pairs will be resting. So if you were to scroll up or down, if you were to add more, so you can add more. So here we'll just go to 4. So we'll just add a bunch here, right? So if we go back and if we scroll down, you can see all the currency pairs that we have. Okay, so if we go to the next one right here, which is as you can see the candlesticks, that is where the chart will be. Okay, and so you can scroll back into the chart, you can zoom out, you can zoom in to see them more clearly. The next one over that we have right here is this is where your balance will be, and this is where, like, when you make a trade, this is where your trade will end up, and depending on where the market goes, you'll be in the positive or the negative. If you go over to the next one here, this is when trades are finished, and if they close in the positive or negative, that you will. Sorry, guys, hold on a second here. Just want to make sure that nothing is happening here. Once the trade is finished, your profits or the losses will be recorded here. Okay, and you can go to the top here where you can click on it, and it shows you. So if you had different forex pairs and you wanted to see just a specific one, you can click on it, and only those will show up. If you click on this one right here, you can see the opening time, the closing time, which ones are in profit, the symbols. And then you can also, as well, the next one over is just a calendar. So you can see your profits from today, last week, last month, 3 months. And then there's a custom period one where you can just, if it's in the last couple of days, you can check up on how much you made then. See if you click on it here right now. If you go custom period, you can choose the dates that you want to see how much you've made. Okay, so we're going to go back to the currency pairs right now. And if we were to click on GDP JPY, as we have done before, if we wanted to make an order, we would press on new order right here. And in this area, this is where you are going to be making your trade. Okay, so we're going to go over a little later on in Telegram how to take a trade and how to enter it into MetaTrader 4. But I just want to get you guys familiarized with what it looks like and how to make a trade. So as you can see right here, we have market execution. And so market execution is you want to enter into the market right away. Okay. And so for instance, if you wanted to enter the market right now, also right under there, you can see that this is how much that you're going to be, or this is how much you want to wager for the trade. Okay, so you got 1 cent right here. You can go up a little bit. You can also click on it and you can choose what you want it to be. So if you wanted it to be 25 cents, or if you wanted it to be 8 cents, again, if you're a new trader and you don't have very much in your account, the rule of thumb is for every $100, it's 1 cent. So if you had $500 in your account, the maximum that you should be trading at is 5 cents, right? And if you had $800 in there, leave a comment below in the comment section. What would be the trade amount that you would use if you had $800 in your account? Okay. So the next part right here, under here, right here is your take profit and your stop loss. Okay. And so if you were on the chart here, if we actually, so I'll come back to that part, but let's just, we'll make a trade here. We'll do 1 cent and we'll do it for the buy. Okay. And so now your order has been opened. And if we hold down on here, we can go to the chart. Okay. Now, when we look at the chart right now, as we did a buy, as you can see right here, you can see that this is where the buy order happened. Okay. Now, if you wanted to buy in there and you thought that the market was going to go up here, right, you would want to set your take profit here. Okay. So if you click on here, right, this little target button, it pulls up kind of like a marker where you can kind of see where you could stick your take profit or stop loss. So if we're thinking that the market is going up, because look, we are at the buy, right? So we're thinking that the market is going to go up. So if we wanted to make our take profit right here, as you can see, it shows you right on the right-hand side. This is where that you would want your take profit. Now it's up to you. Like I said, if you want it to be up here or you want it to be up here, or if you just want it like very close, again, it's up to you, but the numbers on the side are important. Okay. So for instance, if we wanted our take profit to be right here, we would remember that it's 131. I'm just going to write this down here. 131,991. Okay. So if we go back to our orders, which now we know is this one right here, this is where our orders will be once they're opened. So we'll click on that. And as you can see, we're already a little bit in profit. But if we hold it down and we do modify order, okay, so our take profit now will be that number that we just chose back on the graph when we saw it a second ago. Because if the market goes up to that point, it's going to pull you out of a trade, which is good because then you don't want to be too greedy. If you decide that you want to let it roll on, I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes, but we're just going to stick in the take profit here right now. So 131.991, and so that mark on the graph, or when the market gets to that point, that means that it's going to pull you out of the trade when it gets to that profit. So if we press modify, you can see that it's been entered into the system. So if we go back to the graph now, which is right here, you're going to see that, let's hold on here. It doesn't look like it's showing up a little bit. There we go. Oh, okay. So as you can see right here, if I, okay, so you can't really see the red line, right, for some reason on here, but there it is. So this is your take profit right here. So if you bought in right here and you set your take profit to wherever you want it to be, you can see the red line. And so when the market gets to that point, it's going to pull you out of the trade. Okay. And so setting a take profit is good because then when you're in the trade and say you have to go do the laundry or make dinner or you got to go do something else, having a take profit allows you to have some peace of heart knowing that if the market gets to that area, it's going to pull you out of the trade. Okay. And that's really important because if you don't have any stop loss or take profit, I know some people don't trade with any stop loss, but again, that's a higher level way of trading. If you're a beginner, I highly suggest that you use take profit and stop loss. Okay. So now we're going to set up the stop loss. As you can see, so when the market gets to the point that you want it to, it's going to pull you out and you're going to have profit. But let's say that the market goes the other way and it doesn't go the way that you want it. So say it goes down. As you can see that we have a buy order right here. If it decides to not go that way and it decides to go the opposite way, we can also set up another indicator or it's called a stop loss. And so using a stop loss prevents us from losing more money than we should, which again is very important. If you don't set a stop loss and say you entered into this trade and you have the take profit right here, but let's say you had to go make dinner or you had to go see your girlfriend and you didn't put a stop loss, and say the market just decided to go plummeting down. Well, if you didn't have that safety net, the stop loss, you're going to lose quite a bit of money, right? And so having a stop loss is like having a safety net. And it's very important for new traders to have this safety net in place so that you don't lose too much money and that you are able to live another day and continue trading. Okay, so we're going to set that up right now. And as you can see right now, let's zoom in a little bit. We can see that the market is over here. It's hovering around where we just bought in. And so usually when you set up a stop loss, you would click on this little target area and then you can kind of gauge on where you can put your stop loss. You can put it over here or you can put it down here. And just a rule of thumb, when you're putting in your stop loss, don't put it too close to where the market is. Like if you were to put it right here, right beside where the market is, well, if the market decided to just come down just a little bit, it's going to pull you out of the trade. And, you're going to lose a little bit of money. It may not be a lot, but you didn't give your trade enough room to move around. Okay. And your trade needs a little bit of room to be able to kind of move around and do its thing. Okay. Because sometimes the market will like to fake out and kind of like the bank institutions know kind of where people stick their stop losses, and they're going to make the market move down there so that they can hit the stop losses and then you're out of the trade. Okay. So give your trade a little bit of room. And I say rule of thumb is like if you're entered in right here, I would try and find the next spot where where you see candles where they kind of had trouble moving before. Okay, so this is a we're on the hour, so things move a little bit more slowly, and when you move around this little target thing, it's a little bit more of a big jump than if you were to be on the smaller time frame. But again, it's good to have proper risk and reward. So I would personally put mine right here. As you can see right here, there was a lot of action going on around here, but it didn't break through this area. So we're hoping that if it came down, that it used this as a support and it won't go down any further. So, I would put it just a little bit under the tops of those candles so that if it does make its way down to this area, hopefully it respects these candles right here because they didn't move too far up from that area. Well, let's hope that when it comes down, it respects this area as well, as it was a resistance before. Now it's a support. Okay, and I'll make some more videos later on how to explain that, but just a rule of thumb, try and put it where the candles weren't able to break past a certain point previously. Okay, and you can even choose the different levels. So this is one, but look, if you scroll down here into this area, this was another spot where the market didn't push further down. So if you wanted to put your stop loss down here, because the market didn't go further down from that point, that could be another good area for you to put your stop loss. But just because this is just a practice and I'm just showing you guys how to do it, we're just going to put ours right here. And as you can see on the right hand side, we have the where that piece is on the market. So it's 130.970. So I'm just going to mark that down, 130.974. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the trade where it's gone a little bit into the red, but that's okay. It's only a little bit, and we're going to hold down the pair, and we're going to click on modify the order. And as you can see, our take profit is still there, and now we're going to add the stop loss. So we're going to highlight it, and we're going to put in our stop loss that we had chosen, as you can see, and we're just going to press modify. As you can see, the order was taken, and if we go back to the graph, which, pause the video and take a shot on which one of these is going back to the graph, okay? So we're just going to go back here, and as you can see now, you can see the stop loss right there. It's not a red line. It should be a red line. I'm not sure why it's coming up on my computer as... there we go. But as you can see, if I kind of move a little bit back, you can see that there's the red line, okay? And so this is where your stop loss would be. So when you go back to your graph and you put in a trade, you can now see that this is where you bought in, right? You got that kind of area where it says the order number, and then you bought in for 1 cent, okay? And you remember it was a buy. So we're hoping that the market goes up and hits this take profit. But if it doesn't, and say you had to go shopping or whatever you had to do and you left your trade, well, you don't have to worry because just down here you have your stop loss. So it's going to pull you out of that trade if it hits that point, and you don't have to worry, okay? So just remember, take profit and stop losses are very important. If you're a beginner trader, I highly recommend that when you're making a trade to put your stop loss and take profit in there. It's a good skill to have, a good skill to put in your toolbox. And yeah, I think that's a great starting point for new traders, being able to put in your take profit and stop loss. So we're going to move on to the next part here. I'm just going to pause the video, and I'll see you in the next part. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly go over if you open up your pair that you have going right now, this is how you read it. Okay, so as you can see right here, we have GDP JPY. That's the pair that you guys decided to trade. You can see right beside it, it was a buy, and you can see that we used 1 cent. And then this number right here is where you bought in. Okay, so when you entered into the market with your market execution, this is where you entered into the market. And so then this number right here, if you can take a guess, what would it be? And if you guess that this number right here correlates with this number, you are correct. Because anytime that this number moves, this reflects that number. Okay, so right now, as you can see, we're a little bit in of a drawdown. So we're in the negative right now. So the market is not going where we hoped it would be going, right? So it's right now, this number reflects where the market is right now. Okay, and under it, this is when we took the trade. Okay, so it has the date, the month, the day, and the time that the trade was taken. And if you look under the date, you see S&L. So S&L would be stop loss. And so as you remember, we put up a stop loss. So you can see your stop loss here. So it's 130.974. So if the market hits that stop loss, it's going to pull you out of that trade. And we also have the it's also going to show you the take profit. Okay. So we, as you know, we set our take profit to 131.991. And this is the ID. So, every trade that's made on the market, it has its own personal ID. You can't change that. That's just when you make a trade, this is the number that goes with it. Okay. The swap. Now, if you were to leave your trade to continue on, which actually I think in the duration of this video, you're going to see what a swap is. So every time the market hits 2 p.m., it closes for about an hour, okay? And so depending on your broker is going to take a small fee. It's like if you were to leave your trade open for the full day and you didn't close it, well, your broker is going to take a little bit, just depends on what you entered into the trade for. But if it's 1 cent, I think it will only be maybe 10-20 cents. And it's just kind of like a fee that your broker will take for your trade being open for the full day. Now, if you were to leave your trade open for another full day, you're going to see that the swap will go up slowly. Okay. Now, when you're on a demo account, the swap is going to be different than if you were on a live account. I don't think the swap goes up very much in the demo account or at all. But when you're on your live account, the swap will go up every day, depending on how long you stay into that trade. Okay. If you are a person that is hoping to be a trader that jumps into a trade and then jumps out after a few minutes, your swap won't be very high, or if anything, nothing. So I'm sorry that my phone keeps on turning off here. I got to keep on remembering to turning it back on. But don't have to worry about taxes. And the commission, I think, is for if you were on Pro and you had now, if you don't understand what Pro is, you can go to FX Choice. And I think there's a couple perks depending on the spread, which I'll go over in a couple minutes here as well, where the spread is at 0. And so your broker would take like a commission on that. But if you're just on a basic account and it's just regular spreads, you won't have to worry about the commission. I'm pretty sure. But I may be wrong on that. But I wouldn't worry about commission if you're just starting off and you're trading with a small account. Okay, so that is on how to read a specific order. If you wanted to change your order, so say you felt that the market was going up, or you felt that the market could be going down a little bit too quick soon, you could always highlight it and you can do modify order. Okay, and then you can change your stop loss right here, or you can change your take profit. Okay, so for instance, like if you went back to the chart here and you decided that you thought that your stop loss was a little bit too close to where the market is, and say you wanted to change it to be a little bit further down, you can do that, right? So you put that down 130.645, and you can go back to your trade, hold it down, modify the order, and you can change your stop loss. Okay. And you can just modify. And if you go back to the chart, you can see that your stop loss has been moved. Okay, before it was here, and now it's down here. Okay, and it's the same thing with your take profit. If you feel that you want to move your take profit up a little bit, so say, as you can see right here, take profit is right here. If you wanted to move yours up here and you thought that the market was going to go up here, you can change it as well, right? So remember, you pull up your little target thing and you can go onto the market and see where the market will be. So if you wanted to be at the top of this area, you could go. Okay, so you write that down and then you go back to your trade, you highlight it, click on modify order, and you can change the take profit as well. Okay, so 132.839 and modify order. Okay, and if we go back to the trade now, as you can see, look, our take profit moved up quite a bit. Okay, and so you can do that anytime you want. For instance, the trade is not really going where I thought it would go right now, but let's just say that your trade decided to go like right here. Okay, it was up here at 131.663. Okay, and so now, like you're a little bit into profit. You got some money in the bank there, and you want to make sure that you don't lose that money now. Okay, and so as you can see here, you can see your stop loss. It's still under where you purchased the trade, but now you want to move your stop loss up into the profit. Okay, now I can't do it right now because the market is not into the profit right now, but if you wanted to move your stop loss into the profit so that if the market came down, so say the market's right here, as you can see in 131.663, it's just at the top of this candle. And you can see where the buy is, you bought in right here. You can move your stop loss up. So your stop loss is down here. You can move it into the profit. Okay, now let me repeat that again. If your stop loss is under where you bought in, but you're deep into profit, say, actually, let's just move it up here. We can move it up to the top of this candle right here. If you're wanting to move your stop loss up because you want to make sure that you actually keep some of your profit, you can move your stop loss into this area where your profits are, so that if the market decided to come down from 131.98 and you put your stop loss, say, at 131.525, then if the market came down to that area, it would pull you out of the trade. And then look, this little area right here where you were in the profit, it would secure the profits that you already have. So it's important that when you're in a trade, that if you're deep into profit, that you should move your stop loss up into the profit. Now, you can choose where you want to put it. And as I said before, don't put it too close to the market, because you want to leave a little bit of room so that if the market decides to come down a little bit, you still have room for, if it decides to still go back up, that you're still going to be able to let more profit come in. But if you're deep into a profit, there's no point in keeping your stop loss down here, because then if the market decided to come crashing down, it's going to hit your stop loss and you would have lost all this profit in here, right? Because you can see where the buy order is right here. You're going to lose that because it decided to go down here. But if you move this stop loss up, and say you just wanted to move it up to, just like we said before, 131.525, that means that if you decided to go do groceries or leave your trade, if you came back and the market came down to that area, if you went over here to where the trades have finished, you're going to see that your trade was still in the blue and you got some partial profits. Okay, so I'm just going to leave the trade on, continue to go right now, just so if we can come back and I can show you how to do that properly, so you guys can visually see it. But at the moment, I can't really do it right now, but I hope you guys understand that, and I hate to repeat myself again, but I know there are people that are very new. If you're in the profit up here where this candle is right now, and your stop loss is down here, move your stop loss up a little bit into the profit so that if the market comes down, you can still have profit. Okay. So that is how you set up, or that's how you modify your stop loss and take profit. So one of the final things that we're going to go over now, because I feel that we've gone over quite a bit, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already a little bit lengthy, but I do believe that this information is very important for everybody, especially if you're a new trader. I know there are some people that have some troubles using MetaTrader 4. It is a little bit complicated if you don't know what you're looking at. But the final thing that we're going to go over is how to close a trade. Now, if you are in a trade and you feel that you just want to jump out of the trade, it hasn't hit your stop loss or it hasn't hit your take profit, but you just feel that you want to get out of it. So for instance, I mean, a good example would be the one that we're in right now. So it's coming down a little bit, and say, you just feel that the trade is not going where you want it to go. Okay, so you guys know where to go now. So if we were to go to our active trade, as you can see, we're a little bit in drawdown, but that's okay. It's, you can see it's 2 o'clock. Maybe you missed lunch. Now you want to go get some lunch and you don't want to worry about the trades that are open. So we can click on here and we can close order. And as you can see, the order was closed. All right. Now, where did that go? Because before, the order was just sitting here. But now that the order is not open, if we go to our next spot, which you guys know about, you're going to see where the order, as it's finished, where it is now. And as you can see right now, or as you can see that the order was closed at this time, and it shows the date, time, the pair, and where you closed the pair, excuse me. And it shows your profit. As you can see, it was negative $1.63. And as you can see up here, this is your original deposit. And with the negative point, or the negative $1.63, it's going to minus that from your 3,000. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it, everybody. This is just the news. You can read this if you want. If you want to chat with, I guess, other people, you can register and sign in there. I personally don't. I just use this for trading. As you can see right here, I have a graph set up. So I would recommend that you make a TradingView account. As you can see, you can trade off your phone, but it's a little bit more complicated because you don't have the freedom to do as much drawing or charting as you want. As you can see here, you have a full chart and you can make, lines, and you can, do shapes and stuff that help you with your trades and everything like that. Whereas it's a little bit more difficult to do it on your phone, as you can see. So I would recommend you making a TradingView account. It helps quite a bit. And maybe I'll make a video later on how to use TradingView. But this is how you use MetaTrader 4. So just to go over what we've learned today. So we learned how to enter into a trade, how to exit a trade. We learned how to make an account, a demo account. We learned how to add currency pairs. We know what they mean. We know which ones to stay away from and which ones we can use. We know that we know how to modify an order. So if you wanted to modify a take profit or a stop loss, you know how to do that. You know how to close a trade, and you know how to move your stop loss up into the profit if you're already in profit. Now, I know I wasn't able to show you a good example of that. I will make another video that shows how to do that. But again, this video is pretty long right now. We're almost at 50 minutes. So I'm just going to end the video here. If you have any questions about anything that you've learned today, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you need any help with anything, be sure to reach out to a leader or anyone that signed you up. But again, like I said, you can always leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer those comments. It's pretty easy on how to use MetaTrader 4 once you start using it. It just takes practice. Again, it's always good to use your demo account first before you actually load on actual real money. So I would just go over the demo account, use it as much as possible so that you know how to use it correctly, and so that when you actually load up money onto your actual account and it's live, you don't have any difficulties or make a silly mistake, whether it's with the take profit or stop loss or how to get out of a trade. You don't want to be learning how to do that on a real account. Okay, so thank you everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Again, if you have any troubles, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. All right. I hope everyone has a great afternoon and make some awesome trades. Take care.